1. On how the sequel blends multiple genres. The script is a very interesting synthesis between a sort of political thriller and love story. So it's a sort of fusion of genres, if you like, which I think makes it quite unique in this series of films that we've been making based on J.K. Rowling's work. 2. On the movie's politically relevant themes, what's slightly scary is they're becoming more relevant now. So and what's wonderful is that, we're making a movie that will be seen by millions of people and millions of young people, and we're making a story that celebrates tolerance, acceptance of the other, and sort of be cynical when people pretend they have all the answers at a simplistic level, because they probably don't. 3. On how Jude Law takes over the role of Dumbledore, we're seeing Dumbledore as a young man, and Dumbledore as a young man is quite a rebel. He's far from perfect. He's an inspiring teacher. All the pupils love him. But as ever, being Dumbledore, he's a wonderful manipulator, and he has this incredible ability to sort of maneuver people into situations that they may not want to be maneuvered into. And Jude brings this amazing freshness and sexiness and sensuality and sort of wit and sort of charisma to the role. 4. On why it was important to feature Hogwarts. It was something that evolved in the development process. Because we were introducing Dumbledore, it felt right to bring that world back into this one. We're there very briefly. Right in the middle of the movie, we go back from about 10 minutes to Hogwarts and see it in 1927. It was a very organic, natural part of the development process that took us back there. 5. On Newt's ties to other Harry Potter characters. In the first film, you sort of saw references made to a couple of characters, one of which was Dumbledore and Newt's relationship with Dumbledore. And the other was Lestrange, and one of the things that most excited me about this script is seeing how those two characters, along with my brother, Theseus, played by Callum Turner, how they come into the world, and really this new world of fantastic beasts is aligned and kind of joined into the Potter lore that we all know about. 6. On why Newt and Tina have relationship troubles. It's not so much a falling out, laughs, as a misunderstanding. Laughs, at the end of the last film, Newt was going home to write his book, but was desperate to come back. And when you meet him at the top of this film, he is still desperate to come back. Through various miscommunications. 7. On the sequel's physical comedy, the action ends up in Paris, where the major part of the film takes place. And there is a point in the movie where Jacob and Newt meet up, and it's quite clear they have to go on an adventure to Paris. And so, there's that element, and Dan Fogler's genius, which was one of the things I enjoyed most about the first film, how Joe had written Jacob, but then, Dan taking it to another level through improvising and playing. And there's so much of that, and I love it because, he always described it as sort of this Laurel and Hardy style kind of relationship. But it was unlike anything I'd ever had to play, and it's been really wonderful. 8. On how the sequel raises the stakes. I think the interesting thing is that this film takes it to. You really get inside the psychology of the characters more, and it's a darker place. You can sort of get a sense of what's coming historically in the Muggle world at the time, and certainly the Wizarding world. There are elements that are reflecting that, and with the rise of Grindelwald and this sort of greater evil, the stakes are higher. 9. On designing young Dumbledore's outfit, Dumbledore was sort of vaguely purplish tones in the Potters, so I backed into that, but I didn't use purple, I used greys and softer tones that were very approachable. His clothes kinda have a soft texture, so they feel lived in and at the same time, a little bit different than what everyone else in the school would wear, like more approachable. He has a great coat that everybody loved. He has a big corduroy overcoat that he wears for a scene in the fog. And Jude looks great. He is a great-looking man, so it doesn't hurt. 10. On redesigning Newt's costume, he's done a little better in the world on the outside. His clothes are a little bit nicer quality, they're not quite as rumply, they're a little more urban, I'd say. He's written a book and he's become acknowledged for who he is. And what I did is, I took a grey fabric that I found that I had woven for the film cause I found an old piece and then the mill luckily reproduced it for me and then we just wanted a little bit of a hint of blue, so I did a screen over it of little, tiny blue dots so, in some of the light, you catch kinda the old blue, it's pretty subtle.